Okay, welcome to Puro Laro, episode 4 now. Today we have an interesting topic. I'm not sure if everyone has heard of it. This goes to all PC gamers and console gamers. Is single player really dead? This is according to EA's Chief Finance Officer, Blake Jorgensen, saying that single players is not, we don't actually play linear games anymore and people don't like it as much as they did 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Totoo ba na bawal ang single sa EA? So right now we're gonna introduce our hosts and guest for today. We'll start with you, Arianne.
Hi guys, so I'm Arianne, casual gamer. One thing that I guess I could say about me, I love Horizon Zero Dawn. So
Yan tayo eh. Adik. Casual daw. Okay. And of course we have John on the mic right now. Yeah, my partner in crime, my silent partner in crime. How about you, Arianne? Agree or disagree? Single players are dead na daw.
Disagree vehemently. Sobrang tutol. For to start, kasi like for me, I just started playing last year. I bought my own console last year, and I didn't get it to play with other people. I got the console mainly because I wanted to play on my own. So if that's one heavy point that I can make, I got into gaming because I've heard a lot of good things about Horizon Zero Dawn, and sobrang wala akong alam about multiplayer games, and the way that I was introduced to gaming, single player is the way to go.
Oo naman. Anong console yan? PlayStation?
PS4.
Or...
PS4.
PS4 yun tayo. Pro pa yan ano?
Hindi. Ay, hindi.
Hindi na. Sakto lang.
Sakto
Okay,
lang,
PS4.
sakto lang.
I also agree, but I can understand where EA is coming from. Kasi, syempre, for us gamers, there's no issues eh. Kasi I play both online multiplayer games, MMORPGs, and single player. Kasi if I'm up to like what, I wanna be challenging or something, ganyan, gusto ko ma-challenge, gusto ko mapaglaro sa iba, of course multiplayer, online multiplayer. Pero, you always return to that, you know, your home base, which is single player. Ako muna. Gusto muna maglaro lang. Diba? Yung self-goals, ika nga. Diba? So, ikaw dyan, ano bang take mo? Agree or disagree? Single players are dead na daw.
Ay, hindi. Hindi yan dead. Kasi, you can't really group everything into single player is dead. Kasi, in terms of games, ang daming genres yan eh. Merong yung 4X, diba? Merong RPGs. Meron yung ngayon episodic ang ano. That's still a single player. It's enjoyable pa naman din.
Exactly. Dami eh. I mean, we can name lots of single player greats. Ika nga, di ba? Yeah, 4X titles starting from what? DOS pa lang, di ba? 4X titles is like Civilization and all that. They have multiplayer, pero the best way to go with Civilization is against AI, against the computer itself eh. Kasi it's your own type of game, di ba? Tapos, ano ba? Skyrim, di ba? Assassin's Creed games, di ba? So, hindi siya maganda kung may, ano kayo. I mean, okay, it's a good idea if you're, pero imagine it on an MMO, parang gulo eh, di ba? Parang wala nang stealth, wala nang ano. So, maraming you can't factor in. And I think at this point, ano pa muna yung multiplayer greats? You also play multiplayer sometimes, di ba, Arianne?
I tried, but I'm really bad at it. So I think I tried Overwatch, and I really, kasi I really suck at aiming. So a friend brought his PlayStation over when I didn't have a console yet. Tapos meron siyang Overwatch, and we tried playing it, and I failed miserably. So dun pa lang.
Ang harsh mo sa sarili mo rin eh, no?
No, seriously, kasi Facebook, you see it on everybody's feed. Overwatch is great. Pero when I tried it, although I can see how other people might enjoy it, pero for me kasi, for someone who's not great at aiming, someone who doesn't really know how to play the game yet, pag sinabak ako sa Overwatch, which is what happened, sobrang, I didn't enjoy it because, syempre, you play because you want to have fun. And at the same time, you want to be great at it. And if you start out sucking at the game, it takes the enjoyment out of it. So,
correct.
Yun.
Horizon Zero Dawn is single player, open world, diba? Third person.
Super
third person.
Open world, yeah.
Tapos, there are stealth mechanics doon, di ba?
Ay, yung pagka-open world niya, how does it compare sa Skyrim?
Mas malaki pa rin yung expanse ng Skyrim. But what makes Horizon Zero Dawn better for me is, of course, yung graphics. Sobrang tindi ng graphics ng Horizon Zero Dawn. And the story itself. The story itself kasi. Sa Skyrim kasi, nalulunod ako sa side quest.
Ooh, shiny.
Sobrang nalulunod ako sa side quest as opposed to Horizon Zero Dawn. Even yung side quest plays along really well with the main story.
I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn is probably on the same boat as God of War. Paano mo lalaroin sa multiplayer ang God of War, di ba?
Exactly.
Lalo na yung kalalabas lang ngayon na God of War, di ba? Parang
which I haven't started yet.
Nako, uubos ng oras yun.
I know.
Di ba? Kasi, I mean, I think they're the same when it comes to single players and also the game mechanics. They're the same kasi if I'm reading Horizon Zero Dawn correctly from your description is since sa Skyrim nalulunod ka sa side quest, I'm thinking that I haven't played it by the way kasi I think it's a console exclusive.
Yep.
Ang Horizon Zero Dawn has side quests of course, but more often than not, it tries to pull you to the main quest.
Yes, it does.
Kasi connected siya. So I think it's the same as, I think one of the greatest, I think we can say that, na one of the greatest single-player games out there is, I don't know if you've played it, diba? Pero The Witcher 3.
I have it. I haven't started it yet, pero yeah.
Sige. Tapusin mo muna yan kasi medyo kakain din ng oras yung kakain din ng oras ng Witcher 3. Kasi, I mean, for me, when I played The Witcher 3, I'm mostly single player, but of course, naglalaro din ako, like I said, naglalaro din ako multiplayer. Pero when I'm alone, I don't wanna play with anyone else. I just wanna go on adventure. Of course, single players, the way to go. And of all that I've played, including mga Assassin's Creed, Skyrim, and all that, I think, in my opinion, talagang The Witcher 3 is one of the best single players open world games out there. Well, it's over now kasi, di ba? Pero yun nga, I mean, anyone there listening, I mean, if you haven't played The Witcher 3 and you're thinking na, baka hindi para sa akin, I mean, you have to try it out first. Even though, I mean, if you're one of those, oh no, I'm a girl gamer and the protagonist is a guy. No, you have to try it kasi you also get to try a female character which is named Ciri, which is way faster and way cooler than the main character itself. You guys should try it out. And also, if you get to have I think it's also in Xbox, diba? Or is it a PS4 exclusive, Horizon Zero Dawn?
I think it's also out on the PC.
Is it out? Is it out?
Yeah.
Maganda talaga yung kasi nga yung critically acclaimed yun Maganda talaga yung game na Horizon Zero Dawn.
I agree. Kasi on the forums or on the group sa Facebook, I would check all of the information kasi I'm looking for recommendations then on what to play next because obviously I've played through Horizon Zero Dawn 3 times. And I need something new to play along the same level. And one of the games that they suggested is Witcher 3.
Witcher 3?
Yeah, which is why I think on the PS4 then it's a really good thing na you can digitally get the games because diba, as someone who's not as familiar with a lot of games, these recommendations go well. And when they suggested Witcher 3 na along the same levels as Horizon Zero Dawn, I immediately got either the DLCs And siguro one of these days, I'm gonna start playing it.
Yeah, I think it's a great choice. Ano pa ba? Single player greats. Metal Gear series, di ba? Ang tagal na ng Metal Gear eh. I mean, from the time na hindi naman talaga uso ang multiplayer, Metal Gear was there feeding the single player craze. And I mean, for EA to suggest that games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Witcher 3, and even Metal Gear, maraming Metal Gear fans out there would disagree na patay na ang Metal Gear because hindi siya multiplayer, di ba? Pero I mean, going to multiplayer games, we can't really say na because single players are better, or on our opinion they're way better than multiplayer games. We can't really disown them kasi without like co-op games or online multiplayer games, hindi naman kikita yung mga internet cafe natin, di ba? Kasi kung kanya-kanya lang tayo, hindi naman kikita yan. So, of course, nandyan yung mga multiplayer greats like Call of Duty, di ba? Na the single player experience of Call of Duty pales in comparison to the multiplayer. Yun yung medyo joint force sila. Pero mas maganda talaga yung multiplayer ng Call of Duty series. Counter-Strike, of course. Dota, di ba? Tapos yung the reason why Blake Jorgensen from EA made a statement when Visceral Games, another studio of theirs, they were making a single-player Star Wars game. Kasi nga, EA already has Battlefront as their multiplayer counterpart. Siyempre, the players are looking for kind of the Knights of the Old Republic na adventure RPG lang talaga siya. Sinara nila ang Visceral Game. So they closed it down for a reason that the game they're making is, ito yung exact quote niya. As we kept reviewing the game, it continued to look a much more linear game. So, yun yung quote niya na people don't like it as much today as they did 5 years ago or 10 years ago. People were looking forward to that Star Wars game. So, they closed it kasi it doesn't go with how EA is moving towards the trend of microtransactions, not only DLC, selling the DLCs, cutting up an entire game to several pieces, microtransactions, and yung mga loot boxes na tantamount to gambling na. We'll probably set up an entire podcast for that kasi yun yung medyo issue eh. Ano ba talaga ang loot boxes? Is it gambling or not? So, that's the reason why he said that. Pero, yun nga, I mean, yes, there are a whole bunch of single player gamers out there, but it doesn't really overshadow the fact na niche gaming na lang ba siya? Hindi naman siya, di ba? Kasi it's not just...
I don't think so.
Di ba? Hindi. It's every gamer's blood. I mean, I understand where they're coming from because on a, on a financial standpoint, you can't really sell microtransactions, loot boxes to someone who's really immersed into a single-player game kasi you're inside the world. You're role-playing as a character. Mahirap nga naman bebenta mo na, you wanna pay this much amount with real money to get this particular armor. So, siyempre sabihin mo, hindi, baka meron naman dyan ibang nagbibigay na side quest, kaya ko naman siguro tapusin ito nang wala tong armor na to, di ba? So, it's really hard for you to market that. So, that's where EA, of course, Blake Jorgensen is the chief finance officer. So, siya yung sellability ng isang game or how to make more money. And multiplayer games, particularly the trend nowadays with PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds and Fortnite, they're cashing in. Kasi, I mean, Fortnite is a free game. If you just download the, the Battle Royale edition, which is everybody's going crazy on. Pero, for you to have like a skin or like a cosmetic items, for you to look cool in the game, you have to fork in some money.
Sure.
Yun yung pinanggagalingan ng EA ngayon, di ba? Pagdating naman sa multiplayer, nandiyan yung mga MOBAs, Dota, League of Legends, di ba? I-introduce mo sa Pilipino, isang average Filipino kid. I don't think maglalabas yan ng missing kong bulag. Kasi, di ba, kaya ko naman maging magaling eh. 10 pesos per hour lang eh. 15 pesos per hour lang, di ba? So, di ba, I mean, it's counterintuitive if the gaming industry is going there. And the great thing about it, and I think you're gonna love this, Arianne, kasi all of the publishers except for EA is going the other direction, and they're countering what EA is saying. So the publisher and the creator of The Witcher 3, which is CD Projekt Red, a Polish developer, is countering na hindi totoo yan kasi maglalabas nga kami ng single player ngayon. I think, have you heard of this, John? Yung Cyberpunk 2077. So they're releasing another single player game. Have you heard of Cyberpunk?
Oo, pero I thought it was dead na.
Oh no, it's not.
There wasn't any news for a long time.
Oh yeah, yun kasi yung style nila eh. Yun ang style ng CD Projekt Red, which is I think most gamers na nakapaglaro na ng CD Projekt Red, they appreciate CD. Yeah, no, actually the developer itself. Kasi when Witcher 3 came out, there was all this hurrah about DLCs, paid DLCs, gano'n, di ba? So pera sa pera. CD Projekt Red just said, lahat ng DLC namin libre.
Wow.
So,
wow! Wait lang.
Exactly. Diba? So parang mahal na namin kayo. Diba? Parang lahat ng DLC namin, except for the expansions, of course, syempre, expansion yun, would be free. Even yung mga cosmetic items, libre. So talagang, ang sinabi lang ng CD Projekt, kasi thank you namin sa gamers, so kasi binili niya yung game namin. Ano lang sila, small time lang sila eh. Pero they made the Game of the Year game.
Small studio lang to, no?
Oo, pero I think
relatively
small talaga sila kasi they initially syempre CD Projekt Red is just like a studio. They made a game, they pitched it to several studios. Ayaw kunin. So parang pangit.
So self-publish lang.
Oh, self-publish. Kasi yung story is based on a book. On a book made by a Polish writer. So of course, pagdating sa West, parang sino yan? Hindi namin kilala. Pangit ang story, masyadong brutal, ganyan. So, they self-published. Ang inano nila is parang, sige, tayo na lang mag-release. Kuha tayong funding, ganyan. Tapos, sige, release natin. Yun, Witcher 1. Tapos, nagkaroon ng Witcher 2. Tapos ngayon, Witcher 3, which is their greatest incarnation. I think they made this for like 9 years eh. I'm not sure, 5 years or something. Nung nirelease nila, syempre, ang issue nun is yung DLCs. Kasi nga, there was one game that was making so much money by chopping up the game, which is Destiny.
Yeah.
Which is an online game then. So they chopped up this game, ganyan, and they're still making money. Kasi I think Destiny before was like I'm not sure if it's subscription based. Pero doon sila kumita. Kumita talaga sila. And everyone was saying, gawa ng Activision to, which is Activision Blizzard na ngayon, pero I mean, Activision was like the same blood as EA na mostly all out for how to make money out of games. Yun ang nila, kumita sila eh. Everyone was saying, yan na. Then out comes CD Projekt Red with saying, no, libre lahat. Another publisher that was against the saying single player is dead is Bethesda, which is of course the creator of Skyrim and the Fallout games. Diba?
Yeah.
Yun. The question is, ngayon kasi, they just announced Fallout 76.
Diba online?
Yeah, they're announcing it as an online game too, fully online. As they announced it on the press conference itself, they're saying na, of course, you can play it on your own, pero it will be fully online. So meaning, some of the NPCs are real players. Alam mo yun, hindi na siya yung random encounter na nasa isang bahay tapos may kalaban. Yung bumabaril sa'yo, tao na yun.
Doesn't that make it multiplayer in a sense if it's someone else online?
Yun nga eh. Pero,
diba?
Oo, they're saying they're not...
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know. And people are not understanding it yet because Bethesda, of course, they just announced it. So they're not really saying any like details on how it works. Oo nga eh. Ang mahirap kasi, online ba talaga? Or katulad ng past Fallout games, hindi ako maglaro mag-isa. Yun yung the great question. Pero there are also a lot of single-player games that have been great in single-player that are still coming out. right now, ano ba yun dyan? Red Dead Redemption, di ba?
Oh, yeah. Yung Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oo,
Pre-order
exactly.
ka?
Not yet. Iniisip ko pa. Inuna ko muna yung Tomb Raider.
If you watch the video, parang
Not yet. Oh my God.
open world,
Uh-uh.
tapos i-combine mo yung open world ng Skyrim, tapos alam mo yung Telltale games, yung style nila, na
Yeah.
every action has a consequence down the
Yeah.
line.
He will remember
May
that.
ganun. May ganun yung Red Dead Redemption. So, combine mo yung Skyrim na open world plus yung may consequence yung yung path na you choose.
Grabe, sobrang sentient na.
Iba na, masyado lang yung games ngayon eh. Ang tawag doon? Masyadong realistic.
Yeah.
Aside from Ubisoft just released, they already released for several months now yung Assassin's Creed Origins. They're releasing another one, which is, I forgot. It's an Assassin's Creed, which is set in Greece na. Pero, ngayon kasi, may dialogue na siya. You can choose dialogues now when talking to, dati kasi you just talk to them, and then they will do the talking, meaning it will go into a cutscene.
Directional lang, yeah.
Oo. Ngayon,
Now,
meron
ng decisions.
Exactly, may choices na. So, parang sabi ko, hala siya, sabi ko. Lahat na ngayon, parang BioWare games. Isa pa yun, BioWare. Which is under EA, which is funny. You would say this when you have BioWare working for you, although BioWare is so busy right now, making an online multiplayer game, which is Anthem. So, di ba? So, nakikita mo talaga yung strategy nila eh.
Oh, walang choice ang BioWare kasi ang money galing EA.
Exactly, di ba? Pero, yun, I think Anthem is gonna be great, storytelling-wise, because it's, again, made by BioWare. And, bumalik kasi yung first writer ng Mass Effect just to make Anthem. I'm not really sure if he already resigned again from EA because of pressure and all that. Pero yun nga, EA is making Anthem, and I think Anthem on a story basis would have a deeper sense versus games like Fortnite, even Destiny, medyo mababaw yung storyline kasi. That's what I'm looking at when it comes to Anthem pag-release niya. Pero still, kasi nga dahil online nakaka-turn off na kasi minsan dahil pag bumili ka ng online multiplayer game, all you'll get is like a standard edition. Meaning, yes, you can play the game now. Pero, pag hindi ka nag-fork ng money, after paying for the game, medyo parang talagang kitang-kita ka sa game world na parang hindi ka unique katulad ng dati na pag gumawa ka, medyo may sarili kang personality. Ngayon, parang you have to buy your personality. So ngayon, medyo siguro kami mga multiplayer games siya hindi si single player na lang ako. Kasi ayoko na maglabas ng pera, maglalaro lang ako. Diba?
That's true.
So, yun. Ako, I'm definitely a single player guy, particularly on strategy games. Not very much. Ngayon, I'm looking for the next best RPG. Kasi nga, I wanna be immersed. Pero I'm looking kasi nga, ngayon, may bumalik na RPGs katulad ng RPG type ng mga Baldur's Gate. Yung mga, forgot what they're called. Pero parang side view lang, or top view. You don't really have control that much of a car, but you have control over the party din. Mga turn-based din to. Parang bumabalik siya, namely like the Divinity Original Sin, Pillars of Eternity. So ito yung mga Obsidian games na gumawa ng mga Baldur's Gate noon. So bumabalik din siya. And these are single-player games. You can't play these games in multiplayer. So saying that single-player games are dead, medyo counterintuitive sa nagiging trend ng single-player games ngayon kasi parang lumalaban. Pero at the same time, there are games like Fortnite, Dota, LOL, that gamers just want to compete. They don't really care about the story. Sometimes they do if they care about it so much. Pero yun nga. I think Fortnite din kasi ngayon recently is releasing what do you call this? A sort of a story on their multiplayer. Kakaroon sila ng story. I think John's kid would know better than me. And my kids would know better than me pagdating sa Fortnite, di ba? Di ba, John? Meron yata silang release yung ano yan? Ano yung story nila ngayon?
Yung story is not actually a story na yung player mo will be interacting with. It's more of parang background lang.
Oh, background story.
Oo, kasi kunyari Overwatch, you played Overwatch, diba? So, if you look around the map, may makikitang computer na ang screen is Hearthstone.
Oo nga.
Diba? If you care to look around lang, doon mo makikita, may stories here. Kunyari, biglang nagkaroon ng crater kasi may meteor daw.
Oo nga, sabagay.
It's not part of the game, but you see na merong na-change yung map, ano nangyari dito, di ba? So, then people will go research online, ano ba yung story na to, ng map na to. So, ganun lang yung ano. It's not really a story na the player will interact with.
Pero yung sa, Arianne, yung sa, what do you call this? It's a game na, na nilalaro mo. Would it, let's say, hypothetical, it would have a multiplayer. How do you think would you approach? I mean, would the game approach it? Kasi you're the expert on
Specific
Horizon.
example, like right now, I'm playing Tomb Raider, and there's an option na multiplayer. So I tried it before. Hindi rin ako nagtagal because unang-una, you have to select the difficulty level, and the difficulty level has to match with other people. So, kunyari, like for me, I was just starting out when I tried it. So, ang pinili ko, easy lang. And there were very few people who were playing on the same level. So, it was difficult for me to actually find a match. So, yun, that's one thing that put me off. Tapos, isa pa, yung gameplay is more of, kasi what I look for in a game is story and, well, for me, if it's medyo, mas gusto ko kasi pag yung protagonist is female, pag medyo badass. Pag multiplayer mode on Tomb Raider, it doesn't go well with how Lara is the badass type of heroine, and doon ako napuput off. So, I don't know. I haven't encountered any other game na primarily single player siya, pero merong option to play multiplayer. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sa Tomb Raider pa lang ako naka-encounter. With Horizon kasi it's just really single player.
Oh, okay. So, ano bang storya nitong? Kasi you mentioned Tomb Raider. What Tomb Raider is that?
I'm replaying the definitive edition, the first one that came out in 2017.
Have you're playing the definitive, or have you played before the definitive edition?
Yes, on the PS2.
Anong difference ba niya? Mas maganda ba siya? May added content ba siya? Or medyo graphically, tsaka kasi usually pag definitive, kino-combine na nila lahat, di ba?
Yeah. I would say more of nagkaroon ng depth yung, kasi parang origin story ni Lara Croft eh. Mas nagkaroon ng depth. It's not just you trying to conquer the tombs. It's not just you trying to finish a mission. But more of what they did with the definitive edition is why is Lara Croft why do they call her a Tomb Raider? So where did that come from?
Okay. So
yung definitive edition, ito na yung bagong Lara Croft, right?
Yes.
Okay, kasi Jaemi, yung etong current ng Lara Croft, it is a reboot eh.
Yeah.
Prior to this, it's yun yung mga old story ni Lara Croft. Tapos itong this is the rebooted, ganda graphics, everything. But before that, it was yung blocky na sa PC style na. So, yun, that's already parang ibang timeline na yun.
Iba na.
So ito na yung bago na.
Yes.
Which is better actually.
Way better.
Pero to bagong timeline ba to, or is this a prequel to the PlayStation versions before?
Bagong timeline na siya.
Reboot siya.
Reboot ba talaga siya? So binago talaga nila. Okay.
In a way.
So ano ba yung lalabas ngayon? Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the final chapter sa origin story niya.
Okay. So what's in the definitive edition since it's a combination of several di ba?
Yep.
What's in it?
It's more of her helping out a group of friends. Parang have you seen the movie?
Hindi pa nga eh. Yung hindi pa to
It's a good thing that you didn't see the movie kasi the game is so much better.
Okay.
As in,
obviously.
It started out that she doesn't have the skills yet. She doesn't know how to shoot yet. Tapos, she went out on an expedition to help. I would say parang professor, who was trying to look for what's this? The history of this Japanese goddess, and they got trapped in an island, and this is where she had to learn how to survive. Tapos, essentially, parang they were laying out the groundwork for how she became a Tomb Raider in the first place.
Teka lang. I'm looking at of course, syempre, Magic Google to, di ba? So, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is still coming out, di ba?
On September 14.
Yun tayo.
I marked it on my calendar.
Naabangan tayo pag Lady Heroine, Ayan. So, this is from is it Rise of the Tomb Raider? Or
no, that's the second one, the definitive edition.
So the first one is Tomb Raider or
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider talaga. Ito yung start niya.
Yep.
Tapos kasama dito yung, I don't know kung sama, yung Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, yung mga ganyan.
Yes.
Relic Run, hindi, I think this is a mobile game. So, Tomb Raider, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, then Rise of the Tomb Raider, kasama siya doon, or hindi? Or Rise of the Tomb Raider na talaga?
Is the second one.
It's the second one.
Right now I'm replaying the first.
Okay. Alright, I think it's out now, no? Medyo naging interesado ako. Download ko kaya ito. Kasi, honestly, I'm a fan of Tomb Raider, the character. Pero the games, not much. Even way back, 1996, I think, from the PlayStation version.
PlayStation 1, yeah.
I don't really play Tomb Raider kasi nga, what I hate about single-player games is those games, kasi yung trend before is a single-player game is gonna be third person and there's gonna be puzzles. So, I hate that part na may puzzles. So, ito bang Tomb Raider na bagong itong reboot nila
comes with puzzles. Yes.
It comes with
yes,
but Tomb Raider yan.
Pero super, wala lang. Ewan ko, I enjoy it immensely.
Okay.
And ang challenge ko sa sarili ko is not to use walkthroughs online.
Yes, exactly. Yan nga kasi yung yan nga yung sinasabi ko sa sarili ko na parang, lalo na ngayon kasi before, walkthroughs were hard to get by. When, di ba? Walkthroughs ngayon, isang Google lang, di ba? Isang YouTube lang. Ayan na siya. Meron na nagpe-playthrough.
Matatapos mo.
So, pero, sa feeling mo as a single-player gamer, is like, defeated ka kasi parang, hindi ko natapos sa sarili kong galing eh. So, alam mo yun? And it ruins the entire experience for me. So, gaano kahirap yung puzzles compared to like, if you've played previous versions of PlayStation naman, di ba?
Yeah.
Okay, so gaano kahirap compared to before? Kasi before it's like merong isang door tapos may mga crystal siya and the crystal is all over the place. Ganun ba siya yung
I think it helps na super improvement on the graphics because your environment is interactive with how you're going to solve the puzzles. So as opposed to yung mga previous incarnation ng Tomb Raider, the environment helps you assess the situation better. So you can solve it without the help of walk.
Okay.
Yung puzzles ata ngayon, it's more organic with the environment. Kasi yung before parang obvious na puzzle eh.
Yun nga eh. Kasi yun
ngayon, it's more of yung environment, hanapin mo wherever, ganyan. It's
Okay.
organic. Hindi siya, doesn't feel out of place yung puzzle.
Okay. Sige, tingnan natin, ha. Ida-download ko yan. Yan, nag-interesado ako dyan, eh.
Yung single player, preference nyo, high fantasy, adventure, horror, ano mas prefer nyo?
Ikaw, Arianne.
More of realism. Hindi ko kaya horror. I tried Resident Evil, Biohazard. So, first 15 minutes, hindi na. Last of Us, hindi ko kinaya because, yeah, I tried it. I actually have the game, kaya lang I didn't finish it because of the clicker. So, medyo may apprehensions ako kapag hindi ko ma-beat yung game.
Okay.
Because of the scare factor.
Biro mo, Resident Evil pa lang yan, ha? Kasi I think Resident Evil is, what do you call this, the most tame. Kasi you're using guns and you have access to so much bullets. I mean, Silent Hill is the much more, para sa akin, is the worst, parang the harder horror game. Kasi, di ba? Kasi parang, may access ka sa bullets, pero sigurado mo mapatayan sa bullets. So, parang,
true.
Ubus ka ng magazine, tapos, yung susunod na magazine, nasa kabilang building. So, alam mo yan? Resident Evil pa lang yan. Silent Hill pa lang yan. Paano kung yung mga Outlast na? Which is talagang horror talaga to the point na parang may jump scares. So, medyo mas mahirap yan. Kaya Until Dawn, yung mga ganyan.
Ayoko na. Usually kasi, if I'm gonna choose a game, so I check out the reviews, I check out videos of people playing it.
Naman.
So, depends on like sa BuzzFeed, they have these series of videos where people play the game live, and depending on their reactions. So, if they get too spooked or scared, I don't get the game. So,
yeah. Pero mga katulad, kasi I mean, Until Dawn, I mentioned Until Dawn, more of story-based, kaya lang, the story's background is, alam mo yung, mga thriller movies noon, na may psycho killer, tapos, ang papatay niya is grupo ng friends and all that, sa isang cabin and all that. So, yun yung story ng Until Dawn, which is, yun. Tapos, you switch from several characters, which is the entire barkadahan dun sa game, and you pick their stories. You actually pick their ending. Kasi whoever has the bad side of that ending, kumbaga, the bad side of that story, will get killed. Let's say, nag-aaway, syempre, one storms off, malamang pag naiwan yung isa sa isang lonely, sa mga movies, di ba? Pag naiwan ka mag-isa sa woods and all that, tapos...
Ikaw na yung susunod.
Ikaw na yung susunod. So, ganun siya. So, it was like, yun. Mocap siya. Ibig sabihin yung motion capture siya, show yung mga face niya. Yung isa nga doon, famous actor, I forgot the name. Pero, famous actor yung isa doon. I think the guy who's playing, what's his name? Yung sa Queen na movie ngayon, that's coming out. The guy who's playing Freddie Mercury.
Si Rami something.
Yeah, I think so. He's starring in that Until Dawn. So, naka-mocap siya. Siya talaga yung mukha.
Oh yeah! Kaya pala familiar.
So, I'm not really sure who he is. And I think there's several actors din. Kasi, merong mga ibang familiar din na actors doon eh.
I think the girl from Heroes, the cheerleader from Heroes.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Okay siya na game. Pero more of story. So, para siyang telltale din. Katulad ng minention kanina ni Chan. So, para siyang telltale. More focused on the story. The decisions, yun yung basis din yan ng buong story. Pero yun nga, another single-player example, another single-player great na naman. Kasi nga, there are more single-player games that are being made up because there are writers who want their story out.
True.
Diba? Compared to, like, developer and publisher, na nag-team up, this will create a multiplayer game. Kasi ang gusto lang ng publisher is gawa ka ng isang magandang online multiplayer game. And then, lagyan na natin ang story. The cheesiest and the most easiest to find. And then, we'll create the characters. And that's what the players are gonna play. So, para sa akin, medyo, kung ang goal lang talaga ng publisher is just to make money, of course, that's the way you're gonna plan it. But if you want to be remembered, just like how Skyrim did it, how Assassin's Creed did it, how even Horizon Zero Dawn, kasi Horizon Zero Dawn has influenced the great creator of Metal Gear to create yung new game niya ngayon, 'di ba? Si Hideo Kojima.
Dead Rising?
Oo, yung influence niya, kasi yung creator ng Horizon Zero Dawn, I think he sat down with him and just to create this magnificent engine, 'di ba? Kasi nga yung kailangan smooth flowing kasi I mean from watching the gameplay itself of Horizon Zero Dawn, the transition from what do you call this?
From
Moving
the
from
cutscene.
from open plains to hiding in the bush must be seamless. Tsaka yung reaction ng AI sa'yo dahil nakatago ka should be seamless. So isa yun sa mga gustong-gusto niya. Tsaka yung how the environment plays to you, how your character actually reacts to certain something that happens in the environment is all part of the engine that Hideo Kojima I think was in awe. Kaya yun binasa niya yun. Actually may commentary pa nga siya for Horizon Zero Dawn
Tangent muna. Yeah, si Kojima lang ang person that can show a video super ganda, super excited ka, but still you have no idea kung ano yung game na yun.
Exactly. Exactly.
Kojima lang makakagawa niyan.
Exactly. Ang dami niya nang pinakita, no? Pero mga naka-act na yata tayong trailer ng Death Stranding.
Until now, hindi ko alam kung ano
Oo eh. Pero alam mo, may idea ko. And yung idea ko put me off dun sa Death Stranding. Pero of course, I am gonna be surprised pag lumabas tong game na to. Kasi I'm thinking, you're not, unlike what Metal Gear is, you're part of a like paramilitary group, di ba? So, I think in this way, you're not part of anything. You're just part of an organization, and you're a career. Tapos you have a special gift inside you lang na would yun na yung part mo sa game na to. Kaya ka protagonist. Kasi may special part ka na piniplay para dun sa ano. And again, Hideo Kojima na naman is creating a game na yung boss is unbeatable.
What?
Oo, kasi ano yan, kasi ganun din yung nangyayari sa Metal Gear. Metal Gear, particularly the last Metal Gear, which is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Most of the bosses, you can only hurt them and the cutscenes destroy them. Pero there's no real yung parang talagang sinira mo, hinanap mo yung weakness niya and all that. How's pinatay mo? So,
yeah, I'm still traumatized kay Psycho Mantis, so.
Oh, exactly, di ba? Parang,
diba?
Oo. Ako yung ano lang Metal Gear. And by the way, for the listeners out there, the first, Metal Gear that I've played is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, which is the last one, 2015. Yun yung first, I mean, I'm all in respect with the Metal Gear Solid fans. All of it, parang maganda siya. Kaya lang, I was not into stealth then. Yung stealth games, which is yung single player part ng another genre of single player games, which is yung stealth. So I was not into that, although bilib na bilib din talaga ako sa Metal Gear. Kasi when Metal Gear comes out, parang it sets the trend for the next coming games. The technology that it brings sets the trend for the next for the future of single player game. Lagi ko rin naabangan kung ano yung susunod naman. Pero this is the first game that I played. Pero after that, I played the others na rin. Para lang to get into, paano ba? Gulo kasi ng story pala ng Metal Gear. Hindi siya from Metal Gear 1 to Metal Gear ngayon, 5. That's how the chronological order. Hindi pala. So, paiba-iba siya. Etong Metal Gear Solid 5, I think happened, parang nagiging 3 siya. Part 3 siya ng story or part 4. So, hindi siya talaga sunod-sunod. Which is, ganon katalino tong taong Hideo Kojima na to. Sobrang genius to pagsusulat, paggawa ng game. Talagang magaling talaga siya, di ba? So, I'm gonna boycott the next Konami game. No, just kidding. Sa ginawa sa kanya. Di ba? So, yun. Mabalik tayo sa Tomb Raider na yan. So, basically, since sinabi nga ni John, I think this is a reboot of some kind. Is it progressing the same way as the previous versions? I'm not really sure if I think Tomb Raider before didn't have that much of a direction, or it's not the same as what's the PlayStation counterpart for Tomb Raider again? But there's a male Tomb Raider, di ba?
Nathan
Yun.
Drake.
Oo.
Crap.
Sige, it's Nathan Drake game na lang siya. Lagot ka sa PlayStation.
Uncharted, yan.
Uncharted. Lagot ka sa PlayStation fans. Saka, di ako, I mean,
I haven't played it. Sorry, I have the game, but I haven't played it. I get stuck kasi whenever, basta I like something, I play it over and over and over again.
Oo nga. Maganda talaga yan. Yeah, John, you were saying something.
Nakita niyo yung video ng fan-made movie? Si Nathan Drake,
Nathan Fillion.
Oo. Panood ko yun.
Pwede.
Oo. Pwede. May mga cheesy moments siya, di ba? Kasi parang, si Nathan ba to? Ganyan ba talaga siya? Magaling talaga siya. Sabi ko, parang, pero may mga ano siya. I mean, of course, mababa yung Neto Productions and yung editing niya and yung directing niya medyo siguro minadali kasi magastos tong mga actors na to. Kasi 'di ba yung the old guy, the one that was helping him was the guy from Avatar. Yung antagonist ng Avatar, 'di ba? So medyo magastos yata yung actor na yun eh. So so I'm saying, sabi ko Nathan Fillion magastos na nga yan eh. Paano pa kaya yung kasi alam ko lahat na the rest are just stuntmen, di ba? So, pero maganda yung na yan. I'd watch that as a series. I hope Netflix picks up on it kasi mabilis naman talaga umaksyon ng Netflix pagdating dyan eh. Tsaka savior ng mga nakaka-cancel na series, di ba?
Yeah.
What was the last thing that they actually saved? Yung Brooklyn 9? One by friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, tama ba?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
No.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, okay. So yun, kinancel And sana nga, nila eh. Sana, what do you call this? Sana sinave din nila yung The Newsroom. Sobrang sad ako nun eh. Kasi may nakita ko sa mga The Walking Dead fans dahil dun eh. Because The Walking Dead was like taking off and The Newsroom got canceled. It was like, I'm blaming the Walking Dead fans kasi mas gusto nyo kasi The Walking Dead eh, kaya binitawan nila. Pero anyway, there's also The Walking Dead game, diba? And
final na to? This is the final ano ba ang tamang word dyan? Final edition, final chapter.
Oh, I think so.
Story nung girl.
Oo. Malaki na ba siya dito?
Oo, malaki na siya. As in, I played the first one. Grabe, ang ganda ng story. Kung hindi ka mapalukha dun, I don't know.
Yeah, what was their, what do you call this? Bread and butter ng Telltale Games? Kasi before they went into the TW series, is they had this game na talaga eh. I think you're a werewolf or something?
Wait, I have that. It's based on a comic book, Fables. Crap. I have it on the PC. Wolves Among Us.
Oh, The Wolf Among Us, yeah. Mas mabilis ako mag-Google sa inyo, no?
I think kailan ba siya lumabas? 2015 yata. But the bad thing about that is they didn't follow it up with the next episode na, which I'm still waiting for.
I think there's a new one now eh. I think they created, I'm not really sure. The Wolf Among Us, I think they released the trailer.
Trailer pa lang.
Trailer pa lang na may bago na tinuloy na nila eh. And next year yata.
Would you say kaya medyo delayed yung development ng Wolf Among Us because it's tied up with a comic, so they can't really move away from what's on the comics now?
Not really, kasi the comic run finished 2016. So they have all the material that they need to continue yung timeline ng game. Kaya lang, sayang hindi nila, they were supposed to release it ng 2016. But no, I don't know, for some reason, hindi nila it didn't push through.
Yeah. Nagigets ko yung ganyan hinanakit. Kasi yan ang hinanakit from the day everyone started reading manga, di ba? That the anime series is not yet updated. Ang layo ko na sa manga. So, yung ganyan sentiment na yan. Like, ngayon, games na, di ba? Bakit hindi niya pa nire-release second? Napasa ko, alam ko na mangyayari sa kanya. Gusto ko laruin. Diba?
Exactly.
Tsaka also, I think one of the reasons why the guys from Telltale Games are tied up is because after The Wolf Among Us, they had several projects.
Yeah.
Other publishers. I don't think they wanted to do these, pero they were probably offered a good amount of money to actually make these for them, especially yung The Walking Dead series, the Game of Thrones, Minecraft story mode, diba? Batman, may Borderlands pa. So, I'm not really sure they're like 2,000 diba, developers in Telltale Games. So, yan, ginagawa lang nila. I think they Back to the Future pa yata.
Oo, nga ata.
Diba, ang dami nilang projects na they're using the same engine, diba? Pero this takes care and craft. Kasi, syempre, babanggain mo yung, meron kang Telltale Games fans. Pero babanggain mo yung fans ng isang malaking genre. Kasi di ba parang The Walking Dead. Magagalit sa yung Walking Dead fans pag hindi mo tama. Minecraft, Batman, di ba? Game of Thrones lalo na. Up in arms yan pag may guy. Buti nga kaya hindi pa nagwawala Game of Thrones fans kasi di ba next year pa. ang tagal lang inaantay para tapusin lang. Ayaw magsulat ng writer. Wala. No choice. No choice. Kung matagal na inaantay ng HBO fans ang Game of Thrones, mas matagal lang inaantay namin mga book fans. Kasi hindi pa talaga hanggang ngayon, hindi pa napufulfill. I remember that I used to pass by that National. I was like, what game? Ano yan? Back in high school pa. I was like, ano ba to? Maganda ba talaga to? Kasi parang ang daming copy ng National na ito. Masyadong sikat ha. Yun pala, malaki nung binasa ko. Actually, I read it college na. So I was like, wow, ganyan. Tapos yan na, Game of Thrones saga na. May maraming games, maraming media na nag-pick up ng series kasi parang, diba, it could even rival yung story ng ng The Lord of the Rings, yung Tolkien series. Kasi, it's real world. I think the only thing unreal about it is its use of prophecies, magic, and dragons, diba? Otherwise, I think, talaga tao sa tao diba? So, yun, ganun din kasi I applied that kind of thinking when I played yung Telltale game series, the Game of Thrones. So, more often than not, I was reacting the same way as I was watching the series. I was like, what the? Diba? Parang, bakit ginawa yun? Pwede bang ulitin yung save? Kasi, diba? Kasi, bakit siya pinatay? Hindi pwede yun. So, yun. I mean, the great thing about Telltale Games is like it also surprises you na para talagang you're watching you're watching a series and all that. So, maganda rin sa. Lalo na in The Walking Dead. Maganda yan.
And I mean, it's all about yung writing
Oo,
dapat sa first part, invested na siya sa story ng character. Anything that happens, yun, affected ka na. So, it becomes a better game. So, it's all about ang strength talaga ng Telltale is yung storytelling nila. Parang BioWare lang Pero they did it in a episodic way.
Oo nga, correct. I mean, this also boils down to di ba? Parang when it comes to single player games, as you can see, marami siyang genre Marami siyang reasons why what EA said that single player games are dead. Kasi imagine gaming life where you're forced to actually always play with others. Hindi naman to hindi naman to yung parang yung movie na yun. Ay, yung movie na yan, Ready Player One, hindi naman to virtual reality, di ba? That you can take on the persona of whatever you want and play different. Wala naman tayong ganon, wala tayong virtual. So basically, we're from story to story, from publisher to publisher, from game to game. We're waiting for the next big adventure again. And even though we can't deny that playing a multiplayer game is also fun, or even more fun for some, we can't really equate it to the adventure na na-experience natin pag naglalaro tayo ng single-player games, di ba?
Yep.
Even, di ba? Even as simple as Civilization. Civilization is not an adventure type game. Civilization is just it's PC game that you just sit there and create your own country and make sure that you survive it until the end of the era or the end of the game itself, up to the final stages of civilization. So, yung mga future na. Yun lang yung game mo. And each time you play it, that the reason why it's now Civilization 6, the reason why umaabot siya sa 6, kasi nga, the replayability value is never ending. Kasi each game you play it, magkakaiba. I think that's also the point of EA. They're looking for the replayability value of a game. And they're probably thinking, yung mga Skyrim and ganyan is just a freak. Meaning, up to now, you can still play Skyrim. Even hindi yung, what do you call this, yung parang high definition version. Kahit anong game yan, pag nilaro mo pa rin Skyrim up to this time, iba pa rin yung experience mo from the first time you played it. Even if you follow the same thing. Kasi nga, ganun siya ka-random. Which is great, di ba?
At saka, sa PC version, may modding din siya, di ba?
Exactly. Yeah, but, I mean, even modding just adds on to the experience. Pero maraming magagandang mod kasi nadadagdagan ng content talaga yung game eh. Di ba? Hindi lang puro Iron Sword ang nakuha mo. Minsan magaganda yung talagang pinapaltan nila, pati yung weapons eh. So, yun, it adds immersion to the game. And yun, I mean, single player still, I think, for the long foreseeable future, will still stay with us versus multiplayer games, even though I wouldn't say na sana wala na lang multiplayer games. Hindi rin, di ba? We still need these types of games for parang the same way as basketball is still a good team game. Otherwise, puro one-on-one na lang, di ba? So, di ba? So, it's the same. It's the same concept. It's the same rin. And also, without, I mean, I have to credit multiplayer games for this because without multiplayer games, we wouldn't see the likes of games like Evo, yung mga international tournaments, di ba? Like the International, which nanalo yung isang team from the Philippines, di ba? PNC. So, di ba? Kung wala yung multiplayer games naman, wala naman tong side ng competition. Pero nga, you can't just say na multiplayer games na lang or single player games na lang. And playing single players is not niche. It's the same experience as we had the first time we played a first single player game. From even Mario or something, di ba? From way back, di ba?
Devil's advocate. Would you say yung kaya sinabi ng EA na gano'n, it's because it's more, kasi we're talking about yung kung how good single player is, but is it the same pa rin with the younger players? Do they still find yung mga ganitong appealing? I mean, our age is getting smaller na.
Oh, exactly.
Tapos these new players are more into quick play. Hindi kaya yun yung reason bakit they're thinking although extreme, I would agree.
True, kasi yung generation ngayon, totoo yan na they pick up games, then they leave right away. Sometimes they don't have they don't have the patience or the time to be immersed in a specific kind of, in the story itself, in the world. I mean, one example is my own kid. It took me, I think, what was the game? It was a single player game. Mafia 3 was a game I picked up for the sake of immersion. Ang gameplay ng Mafia is more like story-based siya, pero ang gameplay niya is like Grand Theft Auto. Mm-hmm. So, pwede ka mag-roam sa mga streets and all that, di ba? Pag may mission ka, nasa sayo kung pupuntahan mo kagad or magsa-side trip ka muna. My kid actually finished it within 5 hours. I haven't gone. I've been playing it for like 12 hours na, and I haven't even, parang 25% pa lang ako to sa game. Kasi I'm more into immersion. So siya is more into tapusin na natin.
Main quest.
Next mission to next mission. The only thing that's stopping him is like kung may level requirement yung isang mission, you can't do this pag hindi ka level ganyan. Pero on that specific game, which is Mafia, walang ganon. 'Di ba? Mahirapan siya pero he blew through the entire game within 5 hours. Sabi ko nga, anak, gusto mo mag-twitch ka na lang tapos what do you call this? Mag-speedrun ka na lang sa lahat ng games na laro mo. Kasi yun nga. Pero when we got to talking, it was like he was still looking for the adventure type. He was still looking for ano bang story maganda, ano ba yung mga ganyan. And
quicker pace lang siguro.
Oo. Mabilis lang talaga silang mag-ano ngayon. So, that's probably where EA and some other publishers who are not yet talking probably are following the same suit. Is this really the trend? Kasi nga kahit sa MMORPGs, there's this option of pay to win, di ba? Meaning, magbayad ka na lang, lalaki yung level mo, hindi mo kailangan mag-spend ng ganong katagal na oras. Di ba? To think na wala naman trabaho yung mga bata. Compared sa atin, tayo yung kailangan yata natin ng pay to win kasi di ba? Bayaran ko na lang may trabaho ako Wala akong oras maglaro
Mostly an Asian thing.
Oo nga Tsaka
Western there's no pay to win ata na game
Oo nga. There's pag Western talaga ang developer na iniintindi nila yan Kasi yung replayability ang gusto nila, hindi yung palakasan. Pero yun nga, sa Asian MMOs, yan ang trend, which is pay to win. Bayad ka na lang, mas mataas ang level mo, okay. And also, I think on single players, there's this option of not only yung pre-order, kasi di ba when you pre-order a game, you'll get perks. Like, you'll get a special kind of Pero pag kumuha ka ng mga collector's edition and all that, may boost din I think it happened with what do you call this? Is it Shadow of Mordor?
I think that's what they do now to reel in more people. Like, yun. Sorry if I keep talking about Tomb Raider because I'm really excited about it.
Maganda namang example yun
Yung Shadow of the Tomb Raider, kasi yun yung Ultimate Edition yung pre-order ko. It's gonna come with a 7-month season pass. Tapos, if you get the standard game, you're not gonna get obviously the season pass and the 7 additional.
The thing is, what's the season pass for? That's the question.
It's gonna give you the benefit of having different outfits as well as 7 additional weapons that you don't get in the game normally.
Specialized weapons. The same as Assassin's Creed Origins, I think. You get this kasi on Assassin's Creed Origins, it works like Diablo, if you guys have played it. Diablo is, you get several types of weapons. So may mga classes, may mga ganyan. So may mga like common, uncommon, legendary, epic, mga ganyan. When you get the collector's edition or the pre-order version of Assassin's Creed Origins, you get I think 3 types of weapons and like 3 types of outfit. These outfits are playable from the first game, pero ang badass na ng itsura mo. And malakas talaga siya. But the thing is, why I think na medyo sketchy yung ginawa ng Ubisoft dito is because this weapon, you can upgrade it. It starts off as requirement level 1. So, pang level 1 siya. So, pag naging level 2 ko na, level 3, level 5, yung weapon na yon may still be strong, pero it's not as strong as the common level 5. Pero you can just upgrade the level 1, the thing that you got from for free for getting the collector's edition, and it'll go up to level 5. That's how they made it. It's parang sabi ko, lugi naman kasi the others who just bought the standard game would have to grind and to get like a legendary item. Pero these guys who paid something already have a legendary item. All they have to grind for is just the upgrade. Pero they'll get the same perks as the same cool features of the So yun yung medyo sketchy sa akin. Pagdating sa single player games, yung pre-order status lang. Di ba? So slowly and surely, I think this type of mentality is of like selling more to a gamer other than just paying for the entire game which is supposed to be enough. Kasi yun lang naman talaga yung sweldo ng kumbaga parang yun na yung pagod, yun yung buong pagod ng isang developer, ginawa nila yung masterpiece na yan, is to pay for it. Diba?
Mm-hmm.
Diba? And also, diba, John, we spoke about it in previous episodes na a game will feel rushed, meaning to meet a publisher's deadline kasi in-announce na nila. Diba? In-announce na nila na i-release nila. Tapos, on release date, it's not finished. Alam ng gamers na parang, ano to, sira-sira. Diba? So, yun din yun. Yeah, I mean, sometimes nga, in the greedy part of this is like, some publishers intentionally release the game unfinished so you could buy the DLC to continue your adventure. Yun yung medyo sketchy pagdating sa single player part.
It puts people off, actually.
Oo, exactly.
Diba?
And ang gaming community pa naman napakaingay. Di ba?
Yes.
Ma-downvote ka lang sa Reddit tapos ka. Di ba? Ma-downvote ka lang sa Steam Workshop tapos ka na. Di ba? Sa mga PlayStation forums, Xbox forums, ma-downvote ka lang dyan, wala na. Tapos na pinaghirapan mo, di ba? Pero yeah, I think we're all in agreement that single-player gaming is not dead, di ba?
It's not. Most definitely not. And I think, like what you said earlier, you used Skyrim as an example. If it were dead, why would it even come out on the Switch?
Exactly.
Diba?
And
it's not an entirely new game. It's the same gameplay.
Exactly.
Why would it come out on a console as new as Switch?
And late, grabe, no? Ilang taon na.
Yeah.
Pwede na sila mag-celebrate na kung anong anniversary. Game came out 2011. It's like been 8 years. And people are still playing it. Versus, I think, what was the game that EA made? The same time, I think it came out the same time as Skyrim. Dragon Age. The third edition of Dragon Age. Dragon Age 3. Inquisition. Came out about the same time as Skyrim. But no one's playing it now. Versus everybody's still probably playing and would want to go back to Skyrim, diba?
Yeah.
Kaya nga, I mean, ang nakakatawa nga kasi Bethesda. Bethesda is one of up in arms pagdating sa single player because they're releasing single player games. They're not focusing on multiplayer. The multiplayer games that they release are mga trinkets lang. Katulad ng nag-release sila ng mobile game for free. Which is Fallout Shelter, yun na yung multiplayer nila. Pero single-player game pa rin base. Kasi yun yung specialty ng Bethesda eh. Even Doom, which is a shooter, it's a first-person shooter, which most likely, ang inaabangan ng mga tao dyan, first-person shooter. Ang inaabangan nila dyan is yung multiplayer. Diba? I wanna hit somebody, I wanna shoot somebody. Diba? Kasi marunong na ako. Pero, they made the single player experience of Doom, hindi siya parang substandard. Talagang high end. As in talagang daanan mo lahat the same way as the first Doom came out back in in the 80s. Di ba? Ganun din ka in-depth yung levels, ganun din kahirap, ganun din ganda pa, sarap rin panoorin. And they're also making Quake, I guess. Quake is the multiplayer version of the Doom probably engine or something. So that one is pure multiplayer. Katulad ng Fortnite, ng PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It all started with that game, which is Quake. So, yun yung pinaka-hottest noon, mga 90s. So, actually, it's also the basis for Overwatch. So, yung mga developers ng Overwatch are also fans of Quake, Unreal Tournament. Yun. So, yun yung mga games noon. Pero yun nga, it doesn't take away, these games, no matter how great they are, no matter how yung longevity na ng multiplayer games is out there, it still doesn't take away from the experience of what a single-player game can give you. Kasi, ang single-player game, pag meron ka rin nakita na kasama mo na naglalaro ng single-player game, yung kwentuhan nyo ang lalim eh. Versus dun sa, ang galing ng baril ko dun. Ang galing mo, pare, no? Ang galing mo sa Dota, no? Diba? Ang pinag-uusapan niyo pa rin is malalim. Diba? Particularly kung pareho niyo na natapos. Siyempre, pag hindi pa natatapos, huwag ka mo naman kulit. Spoilers.
I think the only multiplayer game na malalim ang usapan is pag MMORPG.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Ito yung exception sa rule. Ito yung anak ng single player tsaka multiplayer which is yung MMORPG. Kasi nga, your experiences are, well, you can say scripted, di ba? Pero you can repeat that exact same thing with other people every time you play that specific quest, that specific ganyan, di ba? Yun yung kagandahan ng MMORPG, which is what we talked about last episode, di ba? So versus ngayon a single player versus multiplayer. I don't think a gamer cares. I don't think a gamer cares whether it's single player or multiplayer. As long as hindi nga siya kasing shady pagdating sa hihingan mo pa kami ng pera and all that. Gano'n. Pero what I mean is like a gamer can switch from multiplayer or single players without having to alienate one. Ay, single player ka lang? Ay, ako multiplayer ako. Walang gamer yata.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Kasi you don't play for the tag or for the label na multiplayer game ako or single player gamer ako.
Oo nga eh.
Diba? It's more what do you like? What do you enjoy playing? I mean, siguro for me, ako right now, I don't have any favorite multiplayer games, but if I find a title that I like, then I will most definitely not hesitate na maglaro or bilhin yung game. Maybe I just haven't, diba? Maybe I just haven't found a game that I really like or hindi ko, diba? It doesn't have to be, which is why I find it funny na parang the single player game is dead now. Parang, you're ruling out, I don't know, a huge chunk of the population. And
exactly.
Diba? It's gonna be a death wish if you cater to that thought as a business. Kasi you can't really say na wala na naglalaro because ang daming titles na lumalabas na single player na sobrang malaki yung revenue. And to say that is like, it's a death wish if you follow that train of thought, if that's what you're going to base your business on.
Oo nga, correct. I mean, I agree with that, totally. I mean, nakakatawa lang kasi parang, ang reaction ko dyan parang, single player versus issue ba to?
Or is it more of quantity talaga yung tinitignan mo? Because maraming naglalaro na multiplayer, are you multiplying it?
Oo. Diba? Pero yun nga, I mean, I think on a gamer standpoint, a gamer wouldn't care. A gamer wouldn't care.
Hindi talaga.
Even if it's an issue, even a single player and multi, which is not, even if it's single player versus multiplayer is an issue, a gamer wouldn't care. A gamer will still play both. Kaya ang gamer, di ba? Hindi naman sinasabi, single player gamer.
Diba?
Sa EDSA lang ang bawal ang single, di ba? Sa EDSA lang. MMDA pause na. Sa EDSA lang bawal ang single. Sa gaming, walang kami pake. Naglalaro kami kung ano gusto namin. Pero yun nga, di ba? So, I mean, I think in summary, the issue of single player, nobody likes to play like even 5 or 10 years ago. It's not the same as today. I think we're in disagreement of that. It's still the same as it first came out. People are still looking for the same next adventure out there.
Yeah.
And at the same time, some of us are still looking for the next best multiplayer game. Diba?
Yes.
Pero to say na one part of gaming is better than the other, and single player or even multiplayer or niche gaming, it's just silly to even consider. Parang non-issue talaga siya. Diba? So, on a financial standpoint, that's your problem. Diba? Hindi na namin problema kung anong pinag-iisipan nyo. Pero I think, releasing a single player, giving the players an experience, just like Bethesda has done it, what Bethesda has done, CD Projekt Red with Witcher 3 has done, and all the other gains more respect versus just putting out a multiplayer game out there. I mean, I could even probably, the average Dota player, ask them who made, or probably League of Legends player, ask them who made League of Legends, diba? Pero they wouldn't know on the topic. Pero single player game, ay, gawa to ni ano.
Yeah.
Di ba?
That's true.
Kasi they have respect for the developer pagdating doon. Even the publisher itself, di ba? Bethesda, di ba? You have respect for Bethesda. Blizzard, even though it's Activision Blizzard now, the publisher. Pero Blizzard, you would have respect for Blizzard for making games like StarCraft, which is first single player, then it has a multiplayer component. Diablo, which is mostly single player and also has a multiplayer component. So only Overwatch now is purely multiplayer. So yun nga. I think we're all in agreement there that single player gaming is not dead. So, bahala ang EA kung bawal ang single sa kanila. Basta kami, 'di ba? Basta kami, pwede kami, 'di ba? Sana sa EDSA din, pwede pa ang multi. Pero sa ngayon bawal na.
I don't think any decent gamer would just isolate himself na ganito lang yung gusto ko. Kasi that's too limiting. There are too many titles to choose from to just decide na forever na akong ganito lang lalaroin.
Exactly. Diba? Totoo yun. Yeah, you might not get that much money from us, but you'll get enough respect from us. Don't worry. We'll and any developers listening out there, you guys have our respect, particularly if you create a great adventure for us. With that note, I think we're okay. We're in agreement with disagreement with whatever EA is saying. And that's our show, folks. So again, follow us on Facebook, Spotify, and on iTunes. If you want to support us, just wait for the message at the end of the show, and we'll give you the details. All right. Anything to say? Last word, Arianne?
I have yet to find really enjoyable multiplayer games. So if you guys have suggestions, then just post it. And I'm looking for titles to play.
Suggest kayo, guys. All right. So just make a comment on our page, Facebook. We're on Facebook. Yeah. Any comments on this episode? Just let us know. Ikaw, John.
Isa lang ma-recommend ko. World of Warcraft.
Ayun tayo Balik na naman tayo dun Tayo dyan nag-recruit pa Oo nga, nag-start na, di ba? Nag-start na, di ba? Ang expansion. So that's it, guys. Thanks for listening. And wag masyadong puro kalaro. You have a great night. Puro Kalaro is created by Jaemi John and John Lopez. Follow our Facebook page at Puro Kalaro. To support the show, go to ko-fi.com/Puro Kalaro. That's ko-fi.com/Puro Kalaro.